You cannot just tell the professor, I've read all the textbooks, I've read all the chapters, how come I don't get a grade A? Well, I've just said I need the output. I need that product from you. All these products are in the form of assignments. Many of the assignments come directly from the field as a result of you working with the students. All right? So I would just like you to have this bigger picture of the whole program. Otherwise, you keep asking, okay, how come, I know a particular friend who also goes through a teacher preparation program, but there are certain things that she doesn't have to do. How come I have to do that? I don't know why she doesn't have to do that, but I know for us, we really want to show we have a strong program. We produce the candidates according to the state standards, according to the national standards, and these are the things we have to use to show to the public how good, how strong our candidates are. Hope I'm making some sense, right? Okay, let's move on to the next one. I just talked about national standards. However, in Colorado, we're in the schools actually, there is a new set of standards. They are called the quality standards actually. I think, yeah, Colorado Teacher Quality Standards, right? There are 6 standards, okay? They are sort of aligned with the national standards, even though they are organized in different ways and they are worded in different ways, but in essence, they are the same thing. You need to demonstrate the knowledge of the content you teach, and you do that through all your major, right? If you're becoming a math teacher, of course, your math courses will help you with that. Teachers establish a respectful learning environment for a diverse population. Okay, this is actually two-folded. One is the learning environment you are going to establish in the classroom setting, and your pedagogy, your education courses will teach you how to do that, and the field experience, right? Another part, pay attention to diverse population of students. That's how I started my conversation with you. Okay, it's the diversity. We have the linguistic diversity, we have the ability diversity, we have the cultural diversity, we have the regional diversity, we have the gender diversity, we have, all kinds of diversity. Okay, socioeconomic status, we need to take into consideration all different kinds of diversities when we create the kind of classroom environment. Today's classroom, I just want to, I know that you're sitting here because you want to become teachers, okay? Because there's this kind of passion here. At the same time, I don't want to paint a rosy picture for you. I want to be realistic, okay? In today's United States, if you want to become a classroom teacher, there's no way for us to pick and choose, actually. Okay, it doesn't matter what kind of schools you go to. Basically, the student population, especially the public school system or even charter schools, is a given student population. You cannot tell your principal, I'm so sorry, I'm not prepared to work with the students with special needs, so change another class for me. You cannot say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not prepared to work with students who don't speak English as their first language. That's not part of my preparation. Can you give me a different class? I'm so sorry, that's not the case. Today, in most of the classrooms, you will have students with special needs. They may be gifted and talented, okay, way above the curve. They may have some learning disabilities. They may be challenged physically, and you cannot take them out of your classroom. They are there, okay? And for sure, you will have the students who don't speak English as their first language sitting in your classroom. It depends on which schools you work with. It could be as low as 10%. It could be as low as 50% of the students, okay? And just District 6, Greeley, right there, they have 4 years ago, the number is that they had 28% of students identified as ESL students, and more than 60% of the students coming from Hispanic background, which really means they may have the spoken English, but not necessarily the kind of academic language they need in order to succeed in the classroom setting. So that's a given, okay? So that's why it's in the teacher quality standards. Teachers facilitate learning for their students, and you'll learn that from the pedagogy courses, reflect on their practice. So we'll have practicum courses, you'll have student teaching that will do that. The teachers demonstrate the leadership. That when you grow, gradually you'll take on some leadership role. The last one, teachers take responsibility for student growth. What does that mean? Do you know? Anybody want to give a guess? What does that mean? What does student growth means? Okay, what does that mean? Okay.
Is it like what you were talking about before, reflecting on whether we've done a good job teaching in the class or not, like what the students have learned?
What the students have learned. How do you know if the students have learned something?
Through their output?
Pardon?
Through their own output?
So through their output.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else wants to say something? Yeah, pretty much on target, okay? And here, when we talk about growth, how do you know the students have grown? You have to know where they are before. Yes, exactly. Where's the beginning point? And then after you do something, where they are. After you have been working with them for a whole month, the students stay at the same level, there's something wrong, right? Either there's something wrong with student, maybe there's something wrong with you, but I think probably there's something wrong with you, the teacher, or me, the teacher. Okay, say after I spent this whole hour with you, you get out of this room, you feel that you have not got anything new, you have not changed any of your idea, you stay exactly the same as an hour ago, then I failed the whole hour. All right? Okay. No, just hold on. The reason I mentioned that part, there's another practical reason, okay? Even though I understand student growth can be measured in a variety of ways, most people would think about what's the way to tell if the students have learned something? What? The test. Yeah, every time people think about evaluating students, we're thinking about tests. We all know in this business that the testing is only one way of assessment. It's only one, and it's not the way. I mean, it's not the way, but one way, okay? Well, know that, and nevertheless, that's not the public understanding. And quite often, actually, even though the state emphasizes actually the schools and the district and the teachers should use a variety of ways to assess students, some school districts may struggle with different other ways of assessing students, so they rely on tests. Okay, there are other issues related to using tests as a way to evaluate students. Somehow, for a lot of schools, that has become a reality, which means it really makes the teachers very nervous. Because sometimes, I don't agree, okay, but somehow it happens. Sometimes the teacher's performance is associated directly with the student performance in the form of a test, which is wrong, I think, okay? But it could be the reality for the teachers, so the teachers are very nervous. They really, really want to teach the students in order to prepare them to do a good job for the test. At that time, the teachers got so nervous that they don't want anybody to touch their students, to touch their classroom. Uh-oh, we got a problem here. Guess what? We need their classrooms. Because you need their classrooms to practice in order to grow as teachers, right? So as a kind of compromise, we really promise the school districts, we try our best to give you only the qualified teacher candidates. Okay? This is something I want you to keep in mind. That is so important. We don't get to choose and pick, actually, because, you know, the teachers are so nervous and the schools could be so nervous. They want to help us. At the same time, they cannot do that at the sacrifice of our children in the classroom. Okay? So we do have certain expectations, certain measures. Okay? Your GPA is one. Okay? Your performance in the classroom, the assignments you have done for your professors, a lot of things that we use. Okay? If we feel you are not ready to get into the field, then you're not going to get into the field. Okay? There is a good reason there. The schools are helping us. They need good teachers, so they are providing us with the classrooms. At the same time, we cannot take advantage of this because guess what? The school's responsibility is not you. Okay, the school's responsibility is the children. Exactly, the K-12 children. Behind the children are parents. Am I making sense? So even though from your perspective, you think, hey, I pay tuition at UNC, I'm in teacher preparation program, I'm entitled to get into the field. Guess what? That's only one side of the argument. Okay? in teacher preparation program, we are responsible for two parties. We are responsible for you. We are also responsible for the children in the K-12 classroom. So that's why we cannot send the candidates whom we don't have confidence in. Okay? Just let you know. So keep working with us. I don't want you to be perfect from day one, but I want to see progress. Okay? So we can move on to the next one. So expectation on campus, do a good job for your coursework, okay? Because it's important for you to know what you're going to teach. And the performance as a student, do a good job writing, speaking, communicating with all university personnel. They are the basic skills, very, very important, okay? Don't think because you're talking with a financial aid office person, then you don't have to be professional. Guess what? People talk. People really talk. Okay? I don't want you to see yourself as students. I would like you to start seeing yourself as teacher candidates. Okay? When you think about yourself as a candidate, teacher candidate, then probably you know how you are supposed to present yourself in the public when you talk with people. That is very important. Okay? Professionalism, disposition, attitude, stance, ways of handling issues and conflicts. This does not only apply when you are in the field. We start observing you while you are taking the basic courses on UNC campus. Even when you're taking Math 101, still, if you don't know how to work with your peers in group work setting, okay, this is an area you need to change your way. Because, in the workplace, quite often you have to work with people. Okay, in the workplace, it's not normal that you always get to work with the people you like. Actually, it's only normal. You always run to people you have some problem with in terms of personalities, in terms of working styles. But I believe most people are nice people, except we have different ways, right? So how do we handle people who have a different way that is different from mine and the way that I don't like? Okay, that's part of professionalism. Okay, let's move on to the next. So the expectations in the field. In the field, it's not only that you have the knowledge you need to give to the student, but you know how to give that knowledge to our students. Okay? Skill. Then how you work with your students, K-12 students. How you work with your colleagues in the school setting, the school principals, the school supervisors. How you talk with them when you have an issue, what do you do? Okay? And the professionalism in the field. This is, you really, every single moment when you're in the field, you are not being viewed as a student, really, okay? Actually, you are viewed by your copying teachers, the school principals, the supervisors as a teacher. So think about what kind of teachers you would like to have as your teachers, okay? Forget about yourself as a student once you're in the field. Start thinking about yourself as a teacher. Okay, as a teacher, how am I supposed to present myself? Okay, all right. Okay, I would like you, there's more stuff I would like you to consider. While you're still at the early stage, Colorado is the state, okay, that has a lot of students with tons of diversity. I think as the whole state, we're almost under the watch of Department of Justice. Because, it seems that we have not given the students, K-12 students, especially the students from all kinds of culturally and linguistic diverse backgrounds, adequate services that Colorado has decided to give. So we have some problem there. Some of the school districts are really under the watch of the Department of Justice. Guess what? When they hire teachers, they have to give the preference to those candidates with the ESL endorsement. They are required to do that. That's the reality now. Okay? So for those of you in elementary program, in secondary social studies, in secondary English, I strongly encourage you to consider either special education endorsement or CLD endorsement, or if you're at secondary, add another area as your endorsement that will really make you more marketable. That's very important. Okay, so this leads naturally to our guest, okay? And I have Ali Shore from Poudre School District. Actually, she is here, guess what? Not representing herself, okay? And Ms. Shore is here to represent CASPA. CASPA is the name of an organization, CASPA, Colorado Administrative
Association of School Personnel Administrators.
Okay, thank you so much. I can never say it right. Okay, basically, these are the people who are in charge of hiring teachers. Okay, so we started doing that, and our students really welcome this particular part. Actually, this is the best part of this whole session, because the CASPA representatives, they are here, they represent whole Colorado. They give you the reality of the field, they tell you what they need, they tell you how they look for teachers. Okay, one more thing before I give you the platform is that, okay, here's the situation in Colorado for this year. You still have 2 or 3 more years, okay? But for this year, the whole Colorado combined School of Teacher Education, we are going to graduate about 2,500 new teachers. Do you know how many Colorado will need this year? New teachers? Any idea? Come on, give a guess. Somebody said 1,000? What did you say? 900. 900? Actually 5,000. Colorado will need 5,000 teachers. New teachers, right? I just got the information, okay, last month. Good news for you, right? That's the good part. Here's the issue. You do have competitors because in the United States, there are other states that have surplus. Okay, that surplus of teachers. To be worse, guess what? Some of the states require their license to be accompanied by ESL endorsement. So now you have competitors. Remember I just told you some of the school districts like Denver, huge school district, right? They have to give the preference to those with the endorsement. Okay, so good news and bad news. How you stand out?